What is going on, Summoners? We're back here today with another Champion Deep Dive. Today, we're talking about Spider-Woman. So, sit back and relax, because it's time to get into it. Spider-Woman enters the contest with super spider powers, granting her immunity to poison, neutralize, and power steal effects. All of her personal effects, except for stun and power gain, are paused during any special attack. For every 5 basic attack hits she lands, she gains a Fury buff. And if she starts a combo against a non-stunned opponent, critical hits count as 2 landed hits. She also has a 20% chance to gain a Fury buff when struck. Her Furies last for 15 seconds and max out at 20 stacks. This buff duration can't be reduced and refreshes when dodging a special attack or when evading. Now, each time Spider-Woman gains a buff, she inflicts a debilitate debuff for 20 seconds. These max out at 6 stacks. And against Mystic champions, they become severe debuffs. When a buff on Spider-Woman expires naturally or is nullified, she inflicts a non-stacking 50% Wither debuff for 1 second. When this Wither ends, she gains a power gain passive granting 100% of the power denied over 5 seconds. Also, every 15 seconds, she inflicts an Ensnare debuff and a 100% severe Fumble debuff for 7 seconds. Fumble prevents the Dexterity Mastery from being used during special attacks. These debuff timers are paused during her special attacks, and they can't be inflicted during the opponent's special attacks. As a defender, when the opponent activates a special attack, Fumble is removed, and she's more likely to use her special 1 while Fumble is active. Additionally, when a buff on Spider-Woman is nullified, she inflicts 2 instant shocks. When this shock happens, or it's prevented by immunity, she also inflicts a severe Power Sting debuff for 10 seconds. These Power Stings deal an additional burst of direct damage scaling with how much power the opponent has when they trigger. Further, for each non-damaging debuff on both champions, she has a plus 2% chance to evade incoming attacks, up to a max of 24%. This evade can't trigger while blocking, and when an attack strikes an unstoppable opponent or misses, she gains a 100% evade buff for 2 seconds. An evade from this buff can trigger while blocking, and when it triggers, it goes on cooldown for 10 seconds, or until she has one of her buffs nullified or is immune to an effect. Now, let's check out her special attacks. On each hit of the special 1, she inflicts an instant shock and consumes a buff to inflict a second shock. These shocks can be inflicted through block. With the special 2, on activation, she gains 5 Fury buffs and refreshes all buffs on her. The final hit inflicts a non-stacking 100% Retribution passive for 20 seconds. When activating a special, Retribution makes the affected champion take increased damage by the given potency until the end of their special attack. And when an attack strikes an unstoppable opponent or misses, this effect refreshes. The Special 3! At the end of this attack, she inflicts a stun passive for 4 seconds, inflicts 15 instant shocks, and gains a 33% energize buff for 10 seconds. Now, let's check out her signature ability. When awakened, if a personal Fury buff is consumed or nullified, she has up to a 100% chance to gain an identical Fury passive. Additionally, intercepting the opponent has up to a 100% chance to grant a Fury buff. And while dodging back during the final hit of the opponent's special attacks, she has a 100% chance to evade. This evade does not trigger if the attack was successfully dodged. Now, let's take her out for a spin in the champion rotation. To begin, strike the opponent to start building up your fury buffs and debilitate debuffs. Focus on intercepting the opponent and punishing heavy and special attacks to build them even faster. Dodging a special will refresh your furies as you're working your way up to just under 3 bars of power. And once there, launch your special 2 to inflict your retribution passive, then launch your special 1 to stack on your power stings and watch the opponent explode before your eyes. If the opponent isn't already knocked out, just keep stacking your stings until they are. Now, that evade buff she gains when striking an unstoppable opponent or missing is super handy for keeping her in the fight against some of those tricky defensive mechanics, allowing you to stay aggressive and max out those power stings for that satisfying, gigantic red number. And hey, those 6 debilitates might be useful against any mystic opponents looking to enchant you with their spells. Just make sure you're keeping track and sting your way to victory. Thank you for watching this champion deep dive for Spider-Woman. And hey, if you liked the video and want to see more, click subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you haven't already, join the official Marvel Contest of Champions Discord and come discuss. And remember, we'll see you in the Battle Realm.